Hello and welcome. This blue beauty is my 2022 Trek Domane AL3, which I bought in April of 2022. But it's not my first Trek road bike. That title goes to this, my 1984 Trek 400. I bought it back in October of 2018 for $25. Yeah, $25. Somewhat less than I paid for the Domane. Now, since I have these two Treks, I thought it would be a hoot and a half to compare them. So, in this corner, weighing in at 25.4 pounds and wearing red, is the 1984 Trek 400. Featuring a lugged steel frame made in the USA, this bike has old-school Shimano friction shifters on the downtube, shifting a 2x6 setup. The front derailleur is a Shimano Z206 clamp mount unit. The cranks are 170mm Sakai alloys with Sakai pedals. The chain rings are 52/40 tooth with modular mounting. Moving to the rear derailleur is a Shimano Z205. The freewheel is a Sunrace 6-speed with a 14 to 28 tooth range. Stopping is provided by Diacomp, levers and rim brake calipers, mounted on the unbranded 27 1/4 inch alloy wheels with Kenda tires. In the opposite corner, weighing in at 22.7 pounds and wearing blue and gray, is the 2022 Trek Domane AL3. Featuring an aluminum frame and carbon fiber fork, this bike has Shimano Sora combo shifters, shifting a 2x9 setup with Sora derailleurs front and rear, and a Sora 50/34 tooth compact chainring, and 170mm cranks. The Sora combo shifter also provides braking power to Tektro C550 mechanical disc brakes with 160mm rotors. The wheels and tires are Bontrager with 700C by 32mm tires. Okay, enough of that. For this highly subjective and completely unscientific test, I'm riding both bikes on a 3-mile out and back route beginning at this intersection. The route has a rolling terrain with some light climbs and descents, and on the return leg, I'm going to test the braking beginning at this signpost. And then I'm going to try to summarize how the bikes feel. Now, I don't have access to a power meter, so I'm going to try to put in as consistent an effort on both bikes as I can by using the heart rate data on my Garmin watch. And I reiterate that this is not, by any stretch of the imagination, a scientific test. It's just me goofing around with a couple of bikes. That said, let's take the 400 out first, followed by the Domane. I guess age before beauty and all that. The Trek 400 covered the 3.2-mile round trip in 17 minutes 11 seconds with an average speed of 11.2 miles per hour. The Domane covered that same route in 12 minutes 28 seconds with an average speed of 15.7 miles per hour. Now, I'd be lying if I said I was surprised that the Domane was about 5 minutes faster. As far as stopping goes, I rode into the same intersection where I began, and as soon as the front wheel was even with the stop sign, I locked up the brakes. The Domane stopped 25 feet 2 inches quicker than the 400. While the side pole rim brakes are okay and at one time were state of the art, even the Domane's cable-operated discs were far superior. So, by any measurable standard, the Domane beat the 400. But here's the thing. Numbers don't tell the whole story. The steel 400 is certainly not as fast as the aluminum Domane, and the braking performance is just worlds apart. Even so, the 400 is a fun bike to ride, and being of a, well, let's say certain age, I do take a bit of pleasure in being able to use downtube friction shifters. It's kind of like people who brag about being able to drive a 3 on the tree. That said, I would no more give up my Sora shifters and disc brakes than I'd give up my Chevy Cruz's automatic and go back to a column-mounted manual transmission. But you know, at the end of the day, this was as much of a fun exercise than it was any kind of a definitive comparison. And let's be honest, there are plenty of other channels out there for that sort of thing. I am just a regular guy having fun with bicycles, and I really hope that you are doing so as well. I've included links to the first looks at both of these bikes below if you want to know more about them. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate that. Goodbye and have a wonderful day.